Can new players build a competitive account in Marvel Strike Force? That's what we're aiming to do here. We're trying to help people avoid pitfalls, build efficiently, and also build strong teams. Let's take a look at the account so far. In reality, this account is 28 days old, so it's a good time to join up. I'm not too far ahead. Let's take a look at my current roster. One thing you're going to notice right off the bat is you need to be working on the newest characters, the newest teams. So there on the upper left hand side, we have members of the Liberty team. That's the newest team coming into the game, so we want to work on them. And the team that's coming after is the Starjammers. So Rocket Raccoon and Groot there are going to be part of the Starjammer team. So we will focus our energy on the Liberty team, War Machine, Captain America, Sam Wilson. We now have Peggy Carter, and the other characters, when they come out, we'll be putting power into them. If you have left over, then you're going to focus on Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and the rest of the Starjammers as they make their way into the game. One thing I want you to note is I'm not powering up every character in the game. Everybody that you see here, for the most part, has a purpose. I'm using them at some point somewhere in the game, and then there is a significant drop off. You don't need to power up all the characters. You shouldn't power up all the characters. You don't have enough resources to get them all done. You'll run out and you won't have anything left for when you need it. So then, what teams am I focusing on at the moment? Well, I have one of two ways we could go: Arena or Raids. So that's when you're going to pivot your resources, which one of those areas I can go. Arena is the most important. The Annihilators are the premier Arena team, especially Gore, Gladiator, and Thanos Endgame. If there's some opportunity for you to pivot and get those three characters, Gore, Gladiator, Thanos Endgame, then I would push hard there and go for Arena. As you can see, I don't really have a way without spending money to get them, so I need to then go back and make sure that I'm working on Arena, working on Raids. My alliance is doing Doom 1, so that's going to make the decision on what raid teams I build and in what order. So it just depends on when you came into the game, what teams you have, what lanes are available. I'm going to go into Strike Team 2 here. You see I'm in Strike Team 3, but we're going to go into Strike Team 2 just to showcase what I'm doing. I'm going in this lane right here in the middle. So we see first is Tech. Then after that is Mystic. Then after that is Mutant. Those are the lanes. That's the lane that I'm in. So that's the order that I'm going to build my teams. So again, as we look at my roster screen, it's showing exactly that, exactly what I'm working on. So my first raid team is Tech, which is the Orcus team. This is what we got so far. I don't have Omega Sentinel, but right here at level 65, I can sim Doom 1, right? I can sim the tech nodes in Doom Run with these 4 characters and just a random 5th. That's all I need from Orcus at this time. So I should probably just pause, not build them anymore, since I know I can get through what I need and move on to the next team. The next team up is Mystic, and that's going to be the Night Stalkers. So as you look at what we have here for the Night Stalker team, I have these 4 individuals, and I have, again, a random 5th, and these 4, I don't think they can sim it. I've been playing the nodes manual. I don't think they're strong enough to sim it just yet, but this is strong enough to get me through. So the same logic prevails. Maybe I just stop here and then I work on the next team. I also want you to notice that these individuals have green ISO. So did Orcus, Night Stalkers, because Doom 1 requires green ISO 8. So when you get to that portion, only put them on your raid characters. So that means you have to pick some raid teams, only put that on your raid characters, because that's a requirement to advance through the content. So make sure you do your raid characters first before you put it on anybody else. And finally, that brings us to the mutant section, which generally speaking is going to be the Extreme X-Men. So again, I have Nightcrawler, Gambit, Forge, Sunspot. We got them at level 65. They are not strong enough at this level to get through the nodes. I still have to put some more power into them to get done. Now, as you see Cyclops over there, he doesn't have the ISO. I'm not using him in the raid. I don't think he's the man. Usually Cyclops gets subbed out. In the end game, people would put Old Man Logan there. It's going to be a while before we get Old Man Logan, but there are some other mutant characters that we have that perhaps we could use instead. These are the mutants that I have available on my roster right now. So we look at, for example, Emma Frost. We got her for free by playing the game. We didn't put that power into her. Same with Namor. We just got those from playing the game. They got unlocked through the strike milestones. So we're just going to sub some of these guys in. They gave us mutant characters with ISO, so we're not going to build anybody else. We're just going to go with that. We might throw that North Star in, Sunfire, Wolverine, whoever. We'll just throw them in. If they're not strong enough and we need to pivot and build somebody else up, I had already started to work on Cable, so maybe we'll throw him in, but we'll do that if and when we need him. So at present, this is as far as we've been able to get on Doom 1. Myself and another lane mate is halfway through that node there. I can get through the first 2 pieces. So then the next thing I know I need to do is bio. I need a bio team. Generally speaking, that's the Hive Mind, but I'm going to see if I can skip Hive Mind as well. So as we look at my characters that qualify as bio, what we have there is Spider-Man Paviter, Peter B. Parker, Ghost Spider. So those 3 are members of the Spider Society. They're skill team members as well. So I can get 2 teams if I can put enough power into these characters. I'll plug in maybe Gore, right? If I plug in Gore, maybe he's strong enough to help get me through. Groot, maybe he's strong enough to help get me through. I'm going to invest in both of those characters anyway, so I won't be wasting resources. If it turns out that it just doesn't work and it's not strong enough, then I will indeed go after the Hive Mind team. We've already started working on Void Knight just because, and here's the rest of my Hive Mind characters. So if I need to bring them up to get through, then that's what we'll do. Otherwise, we'll see if we can skate by with the 3 members of the Spider Society and plug in any other stronger bio characters that we have. Then as stated, that brings us to the skills section of the roster, and we're most likely going to be building up our Spider Society. Spider Society is a strong team. You see we have a couple other members there that we could sub in if necessary, but Spider Society is a strong team. They're still causing problems in the end game in places like Cosmic Crucible and Alliance War, so their kits, all especially together, still hold up. So we'll be putting power into them. That's my focus, that's my goal. Then we know that we've gotten through the raid section. Once we know that, we can spread out and start working on other things like characters for Cosmic Crucible. Well, I think I spoke a little bit too soon. If we look at our roster screen and go over to squads, it shows you, and we tabbed on raids there, as you can see on the left-hand side, it shows you the order in which the teams came out. One of the teams that we're going to need is the Alpha Flight team. So there's Alpha Flight there. Here's our Alpha Flight, and we did not invest in these characters. We got all of them through the strike milestones. So again, good for new players. They give you the team. All I got to do is put more power into it. I have all the members unlocked. They gave them to us. So then as we move from the Greek raid into the Spotlight raid, I'll have this team already and ready to go. But on the other side, you see at the top there, the Uncanny Avengers. So this team just came out. We're going to need them for the second half of the Spotlight raid. And this is all I have so far. Jean Grey should be coming farmable free to play in the not too distant future. I don't need them right away. I have some time, right? I have some time. I need to finish the other characters to get through the Doom raid first. Then we'll talk to the Alliance and see about moving up into the Spotlight raid. I don't know the difficulties there. Maybe we should take a look at that right now. So as we look at the Spotlight raids here, we're going to just look at a Spotlight Strike. And there are difficulties, right? There are difficulties, but we see as we move up in difficulty 1 there, it says ISO 8 tier level 3. So that's purple ISO 8. That's 2 levels above where we're at. We're at green ISO, then there's blue after that, then comes purple, which is pretty new. We don't really have access to it as a newer player. But in the Strike preview here at level 1, it just tells you the teams. It says 5 characters, Alpha Flight, but it doesn't say anything about ISO 8. So we don't need ISO 8 at the base level difficulty. We just need characters that are strong enough to do it. It recommends levels 85. Obviously, I'm not there yet. Our account level is 65. We just got to that today. So we might need a little bit of time, but there perhaps are some other members of the Alliance who are strong enough and who are ready. And if we can just get past that first section. So we'll just take a look at the Spotlight 2 here. If your Alliance is smaller, then this is the one you want. If you have a full endgame Alliance, then the Strike is what you want for that mode as well. But as you see, if we can just get through like this first section, if you're strong enough for your Alliance just to do that first section of 5 characters all the way around, they do it there, they do it here, then you should be able to get 10%, which should be able to get you some rewards, right? There is a tier for just doing 10%, and you should net some rewards. You want to move to that as soon as reasonably possible. Since raids are a thing right now, we just want to draw your attention to the Macron crystal fragments. They're the daily raid. You see I have all mine done. How am I able to do that if I'm not able to get through the nodes? Well, let's go back and look at the raids, and let's just say, for example, we were doing the Doom 1. So I need mutant characters. I know that I'm not strong enough to get through. All I need to do is pick one character. And as you see, we're loading in. So either I'm going to get knocked out right away. Missed me. It's my turn, so I don't have to attack. So either I got knocked out right away and it counts, or I hit quit battle, lose battle, and that counts. So when we're early in the game, maybe that's all we can do. Once we reach a stopping block in our raids, to make sure we get progress for that milestone, go ahead and use that tip. It does use your energy as it's supposed to. It consumes your raid energy, but it will give you progress in the milestone, to make sure you're able to unlock our character. So at level 65, let's just take a peek at the campaigns, or just things to focus on. We need training materials, generally speaking, as new players. So in the Falcon, Joaquin, this is the only one I have open. Training orb fragments. So I make sure to farm that every day because you need those training materials. There's others in later portions of the campaigns, but I don't have enough of them open yet. So that's the only one I can take advantage of. So I might as well make sure that I do indeed take advantage of it. Otherwise, we have Nexus, Cosmic, Mystic open. We need to get to level 75 to get Heroes Hard Mode open. And then the game, we're just kind of waiting on the game. If we look here, yeah, Heroes Assemble, that's what we wanted. So the next portion will unlock at level 70. So up until then, we're just really kind of waiting. We have everything open. Everything's, just waiting on that. And once we hit level 70 and we move our way up, the rest of them will open. Level 75 will start opening up the hard modes. So you saw we do not have the Annihilator. So as far as our arena team goes, I'm mostly using Orcus. I was trying to use Liberty. They're not strong enough yet to give me sustain. So I'm using Orcus plus Captain America Sam Wilson. I'm finally able to start moving forward. I know it's not impressive, 378, but it's working. It's getting it done. It keeps me inside of the top 500, and that is a goal that is very important. You want to be in the top 500 because you get the appropriate amount of power cores there. You're going to have to use 200 a day for your energy refreshes. So this gives you that. Make sure that now you're running at a positive and are not acquiring a deficit. As you see, we're building. We got 10,000 power cores. You see up there at the top. We're going to save those for later on. Later on, we're going to start pulling for new characters with the core orbs. So we're not doing that yet. But later on, if we were in position, so like the Lieutenant America orb, if I was trying to work on Patriot, I would pull one of those every day, trying to keep about 5,000 power cores in my account. But we're not strong enough yet. Our account isn't ready to do that. We want to make sure we have those raid teams done first, and then we can start spreading out into other game modes. Blitz is another game mode that you don't want to forget about. Blitz is important. You're going to get your Blitz orbs here and stuff like that from these milestones. This is going to give you a lot of characters that you need, and you need that Blitz currency. So we're at level 65. We have the Sim Blitz feature there. You see that? We have Sim, and we also have some save squads. So we just want to do that. I mean, Blitz is infinite, so you can get burned out by doing it. You lost, it doesn't matter. You just keep going. The purpose is to just get some of that Blitz currency. Okay, we need to make sure we get some of these Blitz credits because we need to be buying characters in the Blitz store. That brings us a little bit to the resource management portion. We talked about power cores, we talked about getting training materials, but we want to make sure that we get the Blitz credits because we need characters. Don't buy the defense boost and the war boost. Don't buy those, buy the characters. So Gore, right, I could be working on him if I want, but since I'm focusing more on raid, I'm going to go after Spider-Man Pavita. And he's going to refresh 2-3 times a day, depending on when I'm available. The store refreshes 3 times a day, but depending on the time zone where you live, you might not be able to catch it all 3 times, depending on what you got going on in life. But I need to build that resource, right? I need to build that credit. All of the raid teams have a member in each of the stores. So we're not going to have an abundance of the currency. Endgame players complain. They say they have, or an overwhelming amount, which they do. But as a newer player, you don't. So you have to focus up and choose wisely. I would recommend just going after your raid teams that you're building until they're strong enough to get through the content. Cosmic Crucible credits here. I unlocked Crucible, but I haven't actually run one yet. That won't be till next week. So I don't have a way to replenish this currency. I guess we'll start going after Penny Parker since my blade is strong enough to get through the content. I recommend doing the same thing when it comes to your elite credits, putting red stars on characters. So you see we got blade here. I have them. I might as well make them stronger. I have the yellow stars. Don't buy these unless you already have the yellow stars. So I have the yellow stars. I can take them up by one. I should do that. It's just going to make getting through the raids easier. The other stores, we don't have them unlocked yet, so we have to wait for that to come about. If nobody mentioned it thus far, your energy up in the upper right hand corner there, the yellow energy, you want to click on that plus and see it says purchase campaign energy. It says 100. I would stop when it says 100, but you click it when it says 50, 50, 50. Using your power course to do that, stop when it says 100 and just use up that energy every day. That's what's going to help get you experience points for your account, improve your account level so you can raise the level of your characters, get through the content quicker. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, what we're going to try to do is make sure we have those raid teams powered up. We'll see if we can get to the end of Doom 1 inside of the next 2 weeks. Obviously, also we work on our Liberty team. We'll see if we can get a hold of those new members, and then maybe we can start doing more competitive in War and Cosmic Crucible. So I want these raid characters to get strong enough. It looks like level 65 is the goal you should shoot for. And then if it's not enough, go up from there. We did unlock the epic campaign since we hit level 65. We have legendary characters leading up to Apocalypse. I'm not sure if that's something we should really be doing. Otherwise, Dark Dimension. So in the early stages, I'm going to go against what people say. I don't really build for Dark Dimension in the early stages. Just use the characters that you have and try to bulldoze your way through. It says require gear tier 12. These are the only characters I have at gear tier 12. So then you just push the button and hit auto and let it go. So the reward for Dark Dimension 1 is Kestrel, and the reward for Dark Dimension 2 is Ultron. Neither of those characters are going to change your game. So it doesn't matter if you get them or not. As you see, some of these are newer characters. So there you go. So you got these Liberty members and a couple Orcus members, which are newer characters, and they're just destroying this on auto. So just auto your way through it, get done. You have Ultimus, who's part of the Annihilators in Dark Dimension 3, but I wouldn't structure your account, right? Some people are talking about your Dark Dimension build guides and stuff like that. Don't structure your account to fight in Dark Dimension until later on when you start running into difficulty and when our resources get shorter. We'll find out later on. I'm not sure when it starts getting more difficult. It's really not going to start mattering until you get up to here. Gear tier 18, we get up to here with the Super Skrull is. Then you're going to maybe have to start building your team specifically to punch through Dark Dimension, but we'll have to see. The teams we might have by that time will be really strong and can just do what I just did on Dark Dimension 1. One more thing before I forget. So just remember these showcases are active. So Patriot and Liberty Unite, those two showcases just started. And just remember you have characters on there. So there's more Captain America Sam Wilson shards. So if I do that, he's going to go up a star level for me. On the second one, we have War Machine. Third one, we have Cosmic Ghost Rider. So Cosmic Ghost Rider is part of the Out of Time team. So he's there, as well as I believe we have Starbrand. Nope, we have Starbrand right away there. They're just there to help you with the Old Man Logan event, which you only have about a day and a half from recording. It might be too late by the time you hear this. Then we have, if you got Old Man Logan, we have Dawkins. So he's a good mutant character. Maybe I could plug him in. Panda Pool, these are part of the team, the Mercs for Money that Old Man Logan goes on. So if you're able to unlock him, then they're giving you characters, right? So this is how the game works. They give you things that you need, older characters for us so that we can catch up. Another thing to talk about is in the event section there is legendary characters. The majority of the legendary characters are not going to help you. They're older, they're not strong, they're not going to do anything. If you, well, look at that, Illuminati Team Up Super Showcase. That's all right. For more Captain Britain, that's good. But I would ask first, right? So Iron Man, he goes on the Illuminati team. Dr. Octopus goes on the Sinister Six. Both of those teams are usable. The rest of your legendary characters, Phoenix just got a rework, so she's strong. Invisible Woman got a rework. She's usable again. but the majority of your legendary characters, we got Old Man Logan there for a trial, are not going to be worth doing. So unlock them to get the stuff, right? So I could go into Black and Ebony here and I could do this one. And if I have enough, then I could get this Mega Orb, right? I could get that Mega Orb, which is good. And I suppose that's one more point we should discuss. I'm not opening my Mega Orbs until I get through the first, second, and third strike, because you get free characters and I don't want to pull characters and power up characters that the game's just going to give me for free. Does that make sense? So wait till that portion is done, then you got all the free characters, then start pulling Mega Orbs. That way there's no double dipping and everything you get will just increase your roster. Also, one more thing while we're thinking about it, you see we have openings in the Alliance. On the right hand side there, it says 19 of 24 members. So we have spots available. We actually have 3 new player account rosters. We have 3 new player alliances, in the No Cap family. So links in the description. No Cap Recruitment Discord. The link is in the description. And even if you're not a brand new player, we have mid-game and end-game alliances as well. If you're looking for a nice place to grow, that's the spot. If you're an alliance cluster and you're looking for a place to grow, that's the spot as well. Come on in. Link is in the description. No Cap Recruitment Discord. With all that in mind, what should I focus on? Are you yourself a new player? Are you struggling with some portion of the game in particular? Please leave a comment down below. We'll see if we can find some help to help you to progress your roster. Come back in 2 weeks. You'll see what the progression has been thus far. And if you haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.